Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, back to my boxing. Now, my boy, man, Robert, the Nordic King, the Viking Nordic King, Helenius, man, is gonna be seemingly travel to Deontay Wilder's camp to help him prepare for Tyson Fury. Not only that, but in hindsight, Wilder and Robert Helenius' training partners will help him train for Adam Kanaki. And this is a really big deal, man, because Robert Helenius is notorious for calling out Tyson Fury last December when he said he was going to fight Ajit Kabayel when Ajit Kabayel beat Derek Chisora, right? Tyson Fury was saying things like he was going to come back in December and he was going to come back in December and how he went to fight. And Robert Helenius said, hey, man, listen, I'll fight you, man. Let me know when and I'll fight you. And basically, Tyson Fury, due to the getting sued situation with Deontay Wilder, he couldn't basically fight anyone. So that being said, man, Robert Helenius has always had no problem fighting Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. And, you can only have so many kings before there's a war that breaks out. And Tyson, Gypsy King Fury, why he's the Gypsy King, you're talking about the Viking Nordic King, Robert Helenius. The man who overcame that tough, hellacious fight with Adam Kanaki. That was definitely one of those fights that's career defining for sure. A rocky fight in the heavyweight division. No doubt about it. Not only that, man, he's coming to fight the best in the world, the highest knockout ratio in boxing history. The guy who tied Muhammad Ali's record with 10 title defenses, right? Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, traveling halfway across the world to train with him in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. My boy, Deontay Wilder. Now, it's wild, man. This article is in, I don't know the name of the language. I know Robert Helenius is from Finland, so I'm going to call it Finnish. It's Finland language, and you have to Google translate it. But he's saying they're going to go back to, they're going to go to Alabama. If you guys didn't know, they fought Robert Helenius and Deontay Wilder have sparred before. They have been in camp before, and now they're going again. Deontay Wilder has connects all around the world. He has top elite fighters all around the world. Now, I'm going to get some quotes for you guys, man. I was going to read these two paragraphs. It's not that long, right? Now, this is what it says. Deontay Wilder, a former world champion who competes in the World Cup in Las Vegas as a challenger, has once again invited Helenius to a preparation camp in Alabama. So the men are preparing to play together in the same evening in consecutive matches. In addition to Wilder, Helenius has his own training opponents for preparation camp. So during the most important match of his career, all preparations are made as well as possible. Manager Sundin says that the men will head to the U.S. for preparation camp as soon as they receive visas. So there you guys have it, man. Everything's already laid out. They're going to be going to America, right? Not only is Robert Helenius coming, but he's coming with his team, and so is Deontay Wilder. I mean, it's basically like the 300 in there. Not only is Robert Helenius coming to Alabama, he's going to have his own sparring partners, and Deontay Wilder is going to have his own sparring partners, and it's just going to be just the massive amount of elite fighters in one camp. I mean, this is insane. He's basically going to have all PBC helping him train for Tyson Fury, and this is a big deal because understand that, in boxing, you can say what you want about Deontay Wilder's skills, but one thing you can't deny is his power. And, if you can take shots from Deontay Wilder, that basically gets you ready for fighters like Robert Helenius who hit you, but it's more like a wear and tear you type fighter, right? And he wilts you. Robert Helenius training with an elite level fighter like Deontay Wilder is definitely going to up his stamina, is going to up his power and his overall athleticism. And that's what Robert Helenius is missing. If you actually watch him in his prime, or before his prime hit and he beat Adam Kanaki, the guy was sort of chubby. The guy had some weight on him. He had a big stomach. The guy is not the most disciplined fighter as far as keeping his athleticism on peak, because he has some great boxing ability, but sometimes you need to match that with athleticism too, and it takes it to another level, right? There's things you can do to help you be a better boxer, like have better coordination that comes with things like drum roping and having your core really strong. There's just a lot of things that can help you get to the next level. One of those things is just training with the elite level fighters. If you have a camp with all elite fighters and everyone's going hard, everyone's looking their best, not only are you going to have to train harder because you're training with other people and you want to be one-upped, right? It's a natural competitive in you, right? But you're sparring these guys, and you can't be sparring these guys at 50%, at 70%, because they're gonna piece you up. They're just gonna start hitting you with too many punches, right? So you gotta be your best, because you don't play boxing, you know what I mean? And you're in the ring sparring these elite level fighters, you gotta be ready. Deontay Wilder already said how he had 3 training camps before this Tyson Fury fight happened, and now that the fight is delayed, he's on his 4th training camp. So that being said, man, Deontay Wilder is not only in great athletic shape, but he's been training with Malik Scott, so his technical ability is off the charts. His IQ is off the charts. I mean, the guy is a savant now. The guy is the Einstein of boxing now. Has he reached a new level of genius? We're gonna see, man. Deontay Wilder, can you imagine him with boxing ability and be two-handed? Can you imagine him throwing body shots? I mean, these are just real simple things that Deontay Wilder can implement in his game plan. Using his left hand more often, throwing body shots, throwing a combination. I mean, the real simple things can make Deontay Wilder the most dangerous puncher to basically he'll be a complete fighter at that point, right? The guy has a solid chin. While Tyson Fury beat him in the second fight, he wasn't stopped. He was still on his feet. And same thing with Robert Helenius with the Adam Konaki fight. He showed heart and resilience. And it basically came down to who's going to wilt who first, right? And that has a lot to do with athleticism. So we're going to see how this whole thing plays out with Robert Helenius, man. I'm glad he's joining the camp. The NORDIC KING, the Viking NORDIC KING, and Deontay Wilder. I should say Deontay Killmonger Wilder team up, man. They team up. God knows who else is in that camp, man. That camp's gonna be wild. And man, wow. This is better and better. It gets better and better. Wow, crazy stuff, man. Sparring is gonna be definitely elite. There's some things that Robert Helenius does better than Tyson Fury. I think his right hand is much better than Tyson Fury's right hand. I think he there's some things he does better, right? Tyson Fury isn't perfect at everything. He has some flaws. And I should tell you everything because Tyson Fury recently fought Jared Anderson and F.A. Ajagba, and they're saying Jared Anderson stopped him on his feet. And if you would ask the casual fan or even a hardcore boxing fan if my boy Jared Anderson does anything better than Tyson Fury, they'll tell you no. But when they sparred, you see what happened. And like I said, mostly that's all athleticism. People don't understand that boxing is they say it's a mental sport, but it's really an athletic sport. If you're athletically superior to a fighter, you can do things to a fighter that's superior to you. Think of Roy Jones Jr. was never the most technical fighter, but he was so athletic, he broke the rules, right? And this is what can elevate a fighter's game to a level that's above boxing, because they can start hitting you punches that a standard boxer wouldn't be ready for. Standard boxer is ready, they teach you to throw a jab when they get close to you and work off a jab. But an athletic fighter would hit you from such a far distance, you couldn't hit him with a jab and he'll do like a leaping left hook from halfway across the ring. This is what it means to be an athlete in the sport of boxing at the highest level. So we're going to see how this whole thing plays out with the NORDIC King, the Viking NORDIC King, Robert Helenius, man. I like this from Robert Helenius. Listen, this Robert Helenius versus Adam Konaki fight is a 50-50 fight, but if he's training with Deontay Wilder, you're gonna have to give him a extra edge in the fight, just because the level of focus in the camp is not gonna be any playing around. Wilder likes to joke every now and then, but when he's training, he's training. So this is gonna be wild stuff, man. I expect these fighters to pull out the best of themselves by sparring each other and by being around each other and feeding off each other's energy. If you go on Robert Helenius' page, they sparred together before, like I said. So Wilder already knows what kind of person Helenius is, and he likes his energy, and then he trained better with the guy. That's why he's inviting him again. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. This is a really big deal. I'm excited to see it. My boy my boy, Juho Vakala. I think he's from Finland, man. My boy, man, put me on into this article, man. Shock stuff, because it's all in Finnish. I can't even in Finland. I can't read it, but I had to Google translate it. He put me onto this article, man. Shouts out to my boy. Gang. Anyway, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geobox Empire. Peace.